Okay, here we go. To come up with these trades, I'm going to be using baseballtradevalues.com, the best baseball trade simulator out there. Let's get to it. For the first trade, I have Lance Lynn and Cody Middleton heading to the Red Sox. Let's get my Red Sox bias out of the way. I have Lynn and Middleton heading to the Red Sox. And for the White Sox, I have them getting a package of Bobby Dahlback, Wilyer Abreu, and Angel Bastardo. For the Red Sox, they really need some starting pitching. If we take a look here, they're 53 and 47, 2.5 out in the wild card race as of right now. But the Red Sox only ranked 26 overall in starting pitching Fangraph WAR this year. They've had a lot of injuries in this rotation. They're running on fumes with guys like Brian Bayo, James Paxton, Cutter Crawford. You're going to be getting Chris Sale back eventually, but Corey Kluber's been a bust this year. They really need some starting pitching, and I think Lance Lynn is a guy that I see Hyde Bloom going after more than some other guys like a Lucas Giolito or a Marcus Stroman because he's going to be cheaper overall. If we take a look at the value on baseball trade values, he's basically at a zero value right now just because he has not had a great year this year. If you take a look at the numbers, a 6.18 ERA, a 5.28 FIP. But if you take a look at the xFIP, it's a 3.95, and the strikeout to walk ratio does look pretty good, almost 11 strikeouts per 9. The walks are up this year from last year, and the home runs are up. But Lance Lynn has been pitching better as of late. He had a 16 strikeout game against the Mariners. I think he would perform better with the Red Sox. And if you go to StatCast, his expected home runs are down at Fenway Park. So I think he would play better there. And I think for Hyde, he would rather go after a guy like this because he wouldn't have to give up too much when it comes to the prospects. And then Cody Middleton, I think would be a nice upgrade for their bullpen. I think that's a nice package of them going together. So back to the White Sox, Bobby Dahlback would be, I guess you could call the main piece. If you take a look at what he's been doing in the minors this year, he's hitting .296, a .402 on base, a .611 slugging, 22 homers, 55 RBIs. People are wondering if he's more of a quadruple A kind of a player, but for the White Sox, why not see if you can get something out of him? He's basically blocked in the Red Sox organization right now. There's no way he's going to be able to get playing time with Casas at first and Devers at third. So a change of scenery, I think, could be really good for Bobby Dahlback overall. And then they're getting a couple more prospects here. You're getting Wilyer Abreu, the number 21 prospect. He came back in the Christian Vasquez trade last year. He's doing pretty decent. And then Angel Bastardo, he's having a decent year in the minor leagues this year. So overall, I think this would be really good for the Red Sox. And for the White Sox, you're getting a few pieces that could help you out in the future. Up next, I have Justin Verlander heading to the Giants. I don't know if Mets fans would like to see this, but I would absolutely love to see this trade. It doesn't surprise me at all to see in the rumor mill that the Giants are interested in Justin Verlander, because if you go back to this past offseason, they wanted to sign Aaron Judge, they wanted to sign Carlos Correa until the medicals came up, but the Giants are willing to take on the money. They don't come off to me like they want to give up top prospects to get a deal done. They want to hang on to those top prospects. So I think they would be okay with giving up some lower level prospects to get a deal done, especially for someone like Verlander. Now, if we go to the trade, Verlander to the Giants with some cash, you're going to have to throw in some cash here to be able to get something in return, because Verlander is an under the water contract due to his age. He had some shoulder problems at the beginning of the year, and he just has a massive contract. So you would have to, in my opinion, pay the rest of his salary for this year and maybe a little bit more for next year to get something in return. So in this trade, the Mets would be getting a couple of pitching prospects, Mason Black, as well as Landon Roop. So Mason Black, he is close to Major League ready. Landon Roop is a little behind him, but these are two guys that could come up and help the Mets in the next couple of years. And then for the Giants, you're getting a solid guy in Verlander to go with Logan Webb to push for the playoffs. And if you get into the playoffs, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch with Logan Webb, with Verlander, as well as guys like Alex Cobb, behind him. I think that would be a really good rotation with Verlander in the fold. Up next, I have Brendan Donovan heading to the Mariners. I think the Mariners and the Cardinals are perfect trade partners because each team has something the other team needs. The Mariners need a bat, and the Cardinals need starting pitching. So in this trade, I have the Mariners getting Brendan Donovan, and going back to the Cardinals, I have Brian Wu headlining a package with Emerson Hancock, Deloche, and Clase. So let's take a look at some numbers real quick. So like I said, the Mariners need a bat. They're only 16th in offense this year. They need a spark. I think Donovan would give them exactly what they need, hitting .287 this year, a 371 on base, a 430 slugging, a 124 WRC plus. And if we look at the Cardinals, they're only 15th in starting pitching this year, ERA at a 4.75. Brian Wu would be exactly what they need for the future. They're looking to 2024. This guy's got good stuff. I think he would be the perfect piece in that rotation. He's still figuring it out a little bit in the major leagues, 4.91 ERA, but the FIP is at a 4.28. XFIP is at a 3.80. Good strikeout to walk ratio, 11 strikeouts per 9, 2.5 walks per 9. Yeah, he's giving up the home runs, but he's going to get that figured out. I like Brian Wu a lot. If you didn't want to do Brian Wu, maybe you could do a Bryce Miller instead. So going back also to the Cardinals in this package, you got a few prospects. We got Emerson Hancock. He hasn't fully figured it out in the Mariners system, so maybe the Cardinals could do something with him instead. We got Tyler Locklear. He's a corner guy. Could end up being a good power bat down the road. He's having a good year in the minor leagues this year in high A. And then also we got Clase. Having a decent year in the minor leagues as well. Overall, hitting 250, a 372 on base, a 481 slugging. So overall, I just think these two teams are just perfect for each other. Up next, I have Jeimer Candelario heading to the Brewers. The Brewers are playing well lately, but man, do they need a bat. So taking a look at the standings, they're currently first place in the Central with a record of 56-45, a game and a half out in front of the Cincinnati Reds. But like I said, they need a bat. They're only 26 overall in WRC plus this year, and Jeimer Candelario would be a pretty solid upgrade for them, having a good year at the Nationals, hitting 257, a 335 on base, a 486 slugging, a 119 WRC plus, also playing good defense out there for the Nationals this year. I think it would be a nice upgrade for the Brewers trying to win that division this year. So they would have to give up a package here, at least the package that I have set up. You got a few different prospects here. So taking a look, we have the number 10 prospect, Carlos Rodriguez. We got the number 13 prospect, Hendry Mendez, as well as the number 22 prospect, Logan Henderson. These guys are all having good years down in the minor leagues. I think Candelario would be a really nice fit for the Brewers. Up next, I have Lucas Giolito heading to the Dodgers. I think Giolito is the perfect pitcher for the Dodgers, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But let's take a look at the Dodgers' current rotation. You got Clayton Kershaw on the IL. You got Urias, and you got Gonsolin here. You know, those guys are okay, but you got three rookies carrying the back half of the rotation. I think you need to add another major league pitcher here that you can count on from start to start, and to give you another arm for the postseason as well. And I do think Giolito is that guy. When you take a look at the Dodgers, as of right now, they're 14th overall in starting pitching Fangraph WAR, ERA of a 4.67. You know, when you look at Giolito's numbers, he has a 3.79 ERA. That's pretty solid. The FIP is higher at a 4.46. But the reason I like Giolito for the Dodgers is because he ranks 8th overall in fly ball percentage. And when you look at the Dodgers outfield, they rank 4th overall in outs above average. So I think it's just a perfect fit overall. When you take a look at what the White Sox are getting back in return, you're getting a couple of solid pitching prospects here in Nick Frasso and Landon Knack. When you take a look here, Nick Frasso is number 8 overall, and Landon Knack, he's actually higher on Baseball America's rankings. He's 17th here. But these two guys are having really solid years down in the minors, and I think that's a couple of guys that are getting pretty close to being major league ready. And for the White Sox, they can help them out in the next couple of years. I think this is a good trade for both sides, and I do have it as a major overpay because Giolito's market, it's probably going to be very strong. There's a lot of teams showing interest, so I do think you're going to have to see a team give up a bit more here. Maybe even they could throw in one more prospect here. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, but I think Giolito is perfect for the Dodgers. Up next, I have Marcus Stroman and Mark Leiter Jr. heading to the Texas Rangers. I think this would be a great fit for the Texas Rangers. Not hearing a lot of connections between Stroman and the Rangers right now, but I think it's a great fit, and I'll tell you why in just a second. The Rangers, though, they need some starting pitching. 25th overall in starting pitching over the last couple of weeks with an ERA of 4.78 and a FIP of 5.32. And the bullpen has been struggling as well. We just saw Chapman blow one in Houston, so they could use another guy, I think, for that bullpen. 20th overall in the last couple of weeks, ERA of a 6.87, FIP of a 5.17. I think Stroman would be a big upgrade for this rotation. You'd have Eovaldi and Stroman for the playoffs. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch. And then you're just deepening your bullpen a little bit with a Mark Leiter Jr. But here's why I think Stroman is a really good fit for the Rangers. Similar to Lucas Giolito, has to do with the batted ball profile. Marcus Stroman, as you can see here, sure, ERA looks good, FIP looks good, but he has a 57.8 ground ball percentage. If we take a look, that is second overall in the major minor leagues. And if we look at the Rangers, they are 4th overall in their infield in outs above average. So that sounds like a recipe for success, if you ask me. And then, like I said, Mark Leiter Jr., that would deepen the bullpen a little bit. He's having a solid year for the Cubs in their bullpen. And then for the Cubs, you're getting a package of 4 guys here. You're getting Bradford, Figueroa, Harris, and Kelly. If we take a look at where these guys are ranking now, Cody Bradford, he's actually with the Rangers as of right now. So that's a major league piece that they would have for the rest of this year and for the future as well. He is 26 on Pipeline right now, but on Baseball America, he's much higher, near the top 10. Also have Antoine Kelly here at number 23. He's having a solid year. And then also I have Dustin Harris. He's having a pretty decent year in the minor leagues this year, averaged at a 259, but the on base is at a 392, 432 slugging. Decent overall year, as well as 30 stolen bases as well. And then if we take a look, we also have Glider Figueroa, a little more further away. You know, this is a more of a project kind of a guy. He's got the 55 power tool, only 45 hit. So for the Cubs, you're getting a pretty well-rounded package here. You're getting a major league ready piece in Bradford that can take over Stroman's spot on the roster. So overall, I think the Rangers, they would really benefit if they got Marcus Stroman in their rotation. Up next, I have Cody Bellinger heading to the Yankees. My, oh my, the Yankees need a bat, and I think Cody Bellinger would be perfect for them. So in this trade, I have Bellinger as well as $5 million in cash heading to the Yankees. Remember, with Bellinger, he has a $5 million buyout if his mutual option is not exercised for next year. So I have them just including that $5 million heading to the Yankees. So for the Cubs, I have them getting a package of prospects headlined by Will Warren, but Bellinger, in my opinion, is exactly what the Yankees need. That offense has been completely scuffling this year without Aaron Judge. Bellinger, though, having a really good bounce back year, hitting 319, 369 on base, a 549 slugging, a 144 WRC plus, 14 homers, 44 RBIs, 12 stolen bases as well. A very good year for Cody Bellinger. He is setting himself up to get a nice contract in the offseason. And like I said, the Yankees need a bat. They're only 21st in WRC plus on the year, and they have really been hurting without Aaron Judge. To me, I think he would just improve the Yankees so much. They have a revolving door in left field. Let's get that filled up with Cody Bellinger. And for the Cubs, they're going to be getting a decent package here. They're getting a solid pitching prospect in Will Warren, very balanced overall, 3.74 ERA and 15 starts in the minors this year. And then we're also getting a couple of position players. You're getting Dunham and Hardman. So right now, Dunham is number 16 on Pipeline, and Hardman is number 18 in their system. So for the Cubs, they're getting just a pretty balanced package here. You're getting a solid pitching prospect in Will Warren. And for the Yankees, you're getting a bat that they desperately need. Up next, I have Blake Snell heading to the Orioles. The Orioles are playing great baseball this year, but man, I think they need to add a starting pitcher, and I think Blake Snell is the perfect piece to go atop their rotation. If we take a look, the Orioles are currently in first place ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays by 2.5 games, but if we take a look at the starting pitching, they're only 19th overall in starting pitching Fangraph WAR this year. You know, the rotation, it's okay. You got Gibson, you got Bradish here, Grayson Rodriguez just recently came back, you got Wells and Kramer in here as well. But Snell atop this rotation, like a bona fide game one guy for you in the playoffs, I think would just be awesome. And look at the season that he's having. 20 starts, 2.67 ERA, a 3.65 FIP, almost 12 strikeouts per 9. The walks are a little high, but I think the Orioles, they could really use a guy that can just punch some guys out. I think Snell would be perfect. So going back to the Padres, you got a pretty decent package of prospects here. We got Povich, we got Beavers, and we got Baumler. So taking a look at where these guys rank on Pipeline. Beavers is their number 10, Povich is their number 11, and then Baumler is number 21 as of right now. So these guys are all having pretty solid years down in the minor leagues. I think overall for the Padres, you know, it's a disappointing year for them, but I think you should get back some decent prospects here. You know, they've been really spending a lot of guys in that farm system over the last couple of years. So in this case, you have an opportunity to add some solid prospects. I think they should do it for the Orioles. I think Snell would be just so good. Up next, I have Josh Hader heading to the Braves. The Braves and that bullpen have been so good this year. Could you imagine adding Hader to the back end of that bullpen? That's almost a checkmate kind of a move, if you ask me. For the Braves, they don't have a whole lot of prospects to spend, but for someone like Hader, he is a reliever. He's probably going to be a bit cheaper than some of these other guys on the market. So for Hader here, I have the Braves just giving up a couple of pretty decent prospects in Alvarez and Vines, but taking a look at the Braves lately, their bullpen has been scuffling a little bit. 19th overall in the last week, a 4.43 ERA, the FIP at a 4.36. AJ Minter is coming back. He's on a rehab assignment as of right now, but I think for the Braves, you still could add another lefty in this bullpen. They're 21st overall with their left-handed relievers this year with a 4.28 FIP. Again, adding him to this bullpen, I mean, come on. You'd have Raisel Iglesias at the back end here. You got these guys here in the middle. Minter coming back. Oh, it would be phenomenal. Hader has been excellent this year. A 0.97 ERA, a 2.37 FIP. Man, oh man. But heading back to the Padres, like I said, Alvarez and Vines. So as of right now, Alvarez, he plays on the left side of the infield, shortstop and third, having a really good year in high A ball, hitting 293, a 409 on base, a 414 slugging is pretty low, but I really like the on base and the average. And then the other piece heading back in this deal is Vines, a pitching prospect. So Darius Vines, number 7 overall in their system. So far, so good through 4 starts, a 2.40 ERA. You know, maybe you could add a little bit more here to get a deal done. I would imagine if Hader is available, a lot of teams are going to go after him. So maybe the Braves could sweeten the pot just a little bit. I would love a move like this for the Braves. They are a team that can absolutely win it all this year. Hader would just put them over the top for me. And last but not least, I have Shohei Ohtani heading to the Phillies. Man, oh man, could you imagine Dave Dombrowski getting a deal done for Shohei Ohtani? It would officially make him the best baseball executive of all time. But also, with the Phillies, getting Ohtani on your team would put you right back into the conversation of winning a World Series. They were this close last year to winning it against the Astros. Ohtani puts you right back up there in contention. Could you imagine the Phillies adding Shohei Ohtani to this team with Harper, Schwarber, Turner, Castellanos, JT Realmuto, younger guys like Bowman, Marsh, and Stott? This lineup would be incredibly stacked, but then you'd have a rotation of Ohtani, Wheeler, and Nola. Are you kidding me? I would not want to go up against this team in the postseason. So, taking a look at what the Angels would be getting, I have Mick Abel leading the package, as well as Rojas, McGarry, and Lee. So, taking a look at where these guys rank, Mick Abel is their number 2. He's still finding his way in the minor leagues. He's definitely a very projectable guy. He's got just a big frame, good fastball. I think Mick Abel would be a very nice piece for the Angels to get in return. He's a little further away, but he's definitely a guy that you could easily put at the top of your farm system for the Angels. He's having an okay year in Double-A as of right now. 14 starts, a 4.39 ERA. But also, you'd be getting Griff McGarry, their number 4 prospect. He's having a good year in the minor leagues, 3.09 ERA, 12 starts. You're also getting Johan Rojas. He's had a cup of coffee in the majors this year, but he was doing really well in Double-A this year, hitting 306, a 361 on base, a 484 slugging, 9 homers along with 30 stolen bases. Are you kidding me? And then we also got Hao-Yu Lee. This is a guy that gets on base extremely well. Not a whole lot of power, but this is a guy who's just going to get a lot of base hits. He's going to get a lot of on-base ability for you. 13 stolen bases as well this year. I think he would be a really nice piece for you down the road. So I don't know if this package would get it done, but Dave Dombrowski, I have all the faith in the world in that guy. He has made so many trades over the past with the Red Sox, with the Tigers, with the Marlins, winning World Series, getting these deals done to help you win a World Series. I absolutely believe if Dombrowski has the chance to get Ohtani, I do think he could get it done. But if the Phillies weren't going to be in it, I would also love for the Rays to go get Shohei Ohtani as well. I actually like this package better. So going back to the Angels here, I have Curtis Mead leading the way, as well as Shane Baz. Remember him. He's coming back from Tommy John soon. This guy is going to be a really good pitcher when he's fully healthy. And then I also have Wilcox and Auer in this deal as well. So Curtis Mead, this guy is a really good hitter. I mean, if you take a look, he's got a 65 hit, a 55 power. He's more likely going to be a second baseman, play some first, play some third, but I'm okay with that with Curtis Curtis Mead. And then you're getting a couple other guys down here, number 7 and number 8. Auer is a guy that has a good power tool. The numbers aren't quite there this year, so he's a project. But Cole Wilcox, more looking like he's going to be a reliever, but this is a guy that's got good stuff, good velocity. I could see that being a nice piece in the bullpen, but you're also getting Shane Baz in this deal. He has already shown what he can do in the major leagues. This guy is going to be a top of the rotation guy. So for the Angels, you're getting a really good hitter in Curtis Mead. You're getting Shane Baz, whose value is down at the moment just because he is working his way back from Tommy John, but we know what he can do in the major leagues. His stuff is excellent. I would love this package for the Angels. I would love for the Phillies to get it done, but let me know what you think down below in the comments. What do you think of all of these trades? Let me know everything you think. But that's all I have for right now. If you can, on the way out, subscribe if you're new, hit the like button, and I'll talk to you next time.